There's a new wave sweeping across corporate America, and it's not about layoffs, AI, or interest rates. It's about mergers and acquisitions. Every week, another major deal hits the headlines. Tech giants are buying up smaller AI startups. Pharmaceutical firms are racing to consolidate. Energy companies are snapping up rivals to expand market share. From Wall Street to Silicon Valley, one thing is clear. Corporate mergers are exploding. So what's behind this sudden deal frenzy? Why are companies rushing to combine forces after years of caution and cost-cutting? Let's unpack it. For nearly 2 years, the business world was in a holding pattern. Rising interest rates, volatile markets, and economic uncertainty froze deal-making. CEOs didn't want to take risks, and investors didn't want surprises. The result? One of the slowest M&A years in decades. But now the tide is turning. Fast. Deal volume in 2024 surged, and 2025 is shaping up to be even bigger. Across sectors, total mergers and acquisitions are up sharply, and the dollar value of deals is nearing pre-pandemic highs. Companies that spent the past few years cutting costs and hoarding cash are suddenly opening their wallets again. So, what changed? Reason number 1, the return of confidence. After several years of uncertainty, inflation, supply chain chaos, interest rate shocks, CEOs finally see some stability. The economy didn't crash like many feared. Inflation, while still high, has cooled. And though rates remain elevated, markets have adjusted. Businesses are realizing that waiting for the perfect environment means missing opportunities. Instead of sitting on cash, they're deploying it, and mergers are one of the fastest ways to grow when organic expansion slows down. Reason number 2, AI and technology disruption. Artificial intelligence is changing everything, and companies don't want to get left behind. Tech giants like Microsoft, Amazon, and Google are acquiring smaller AI startups to stay ahead of the curve. But it's not just tech. Every industry, from finance to healthcare, is scrambling to integrate AI capabilities. For many firms, building that tech from scratch would take years. Buying a smaller, innovative company is faster, easier, and sometimes cheaper. We've seen this playbook before, during the dot-com boom and the smartphone revolution. But this time, the scale is even bigger. In today's economy, if you can't innovate fast enough, you buy innovation. Reason number 3, the high cost of staying small. With inflation and interest rates still elevated, smaller companies are under pressure. Borrowing is expensive, customers are cautious, and growth is harder to achieve. For many mid-sized firms, the best survival strategy is to merge with a larger player. Bigger companies get efficiency, smaller ones get protection and capital. This is especially true in sectors like healthcare, retail, and energy, industries that rely heavily on scale. Energy giants like ExxonMobil and Chevron have both made major acquisitions in recent months, aiming to strengthen supply chains and secure long-term assets in an uncertain global market. Reason number 4, private equity's comeback. After a quiet period, private equity firms are back in the game, and they're hungry. They've been sitting on record amounts of dry powder, unspent cash waiting to be invested. Now, as valuations stabilize and sellers lower expectations, buyout funds are jumping at the chance to scoop up undervalued assets. From tech startups to manufacturing firms, private equity is behind some of the most aggressive deal-making happening today. Reason number 5, consolidation equals power. In competitive industries, size matters more than ever. The bigger you are, the more pricing power, data, and negotiating leverage you have. That's why we're seeing large firms swallowing smaller rivals across industries, from airlines to pharmaceuticals to finance. In banking, for example, regional consolidation has accelerated as lenders look to survive tighter regulations and shrinking margins. The same pattern is unfolding in media and telecom, where streaming wars and advertising shifts are forcing companies to scale up or fade out. But behind this flurry of deals lies a more strategic motivation: control. By acquiring competitors or adjacent players, companies can control more of their ecosystem, from suppliers to customers to data pipelines. In an era where every advantage counts, consolidation isn't just a growth strategy. It's a defense mechanism. Yet there's a flip side to this frenzy. Regulators are watching closely. The Federal Trade Commission and the Department of Justice have both stepped up scrutiny of mergers, especially in tech and healthcare. The Biden administration has made clear it wants to rein in corporate concentration. But despite the rhetoric, many deals are still getting through. Why? Because the pace of innovation is outpacing regulation. AI, cloud computing, and data infrastructure evolve faster than policymakers can write new rules. That gap gives corporations a window to strike big deals before tougher oversight arrives. Still, not every merger is a win. History is full of massive deals that ended in disaster, from AOL and Time Warner to Sprint and Nextel. Merging companies sounds great on paper, but integrating cultures, systems, and customers is hard. When it fails, it destroys billions in value. So what makes this wave different? Many of today's mergers aren't just about empire building. They're about survival and transformation. Companies aren't merging for bragging rights. They're merging to prepare for a future defined by technology, scarcity, and competition. Take the recent surge in AI infrastructure acquisitions. Firms that don't have access to chips, data, or computing power are at a strategic disadvantage. Buying those capabilities now isn't optional. It's existential. The same goes for clean energy. Traditional oil and gas giants are snapping up renewable assets to future-proof their portfolios. In healthcare, big pharmaceutical players are merging with biotech firms to gain access to cutting-edge therapies and protect their pipelines. In other words, the new M&A boom isn't about greed, it's about fear. Fear of being left behind in a faster, smarter, more digital world. So, is this deal frenzy sustainable? In the short term, yes. As long as corporate cash piles stay large and credit markets remain open, deals will keep flowing. But over the long run, rising rates, regulatory pushback, and integration fatigue could cool the pace. What's clear is that we're entering a new era of business strategy, one where standing still is the biggest risk of all. In a volatile world, companies aren't just building anymore. They're buying their way into the future. Because in today's economy, if you can't beat the competition, you merge with it.